So when I put out Ultimate Invasion #1 and only got 28 views, I wasn't mad. I was devastated. But that's okay, because we get a do-over. In this video, I'm pretty sure it's going to get 30 views. My name is Dorian, this is SEM Comics, and we are continuing our coverage of Ultimate Invasion with #2. So our story starts off kind of right where issue 1 left off, where the maker is pretty much saying, if you could do it all over again, if you had the chance, would you wipe me out of existence? Then you got Reed with a not so confident yes. And then the maker's like, okay, I'll keep that in mind. And then we've seen how he stopped Spider-Man from ever becoming Spider-Man by stopping the spider. But what we didn't see is Thor bending the knee. And we find out exactly why he's bending the knee. Because the maker has made sure that Odin is off the throne, Loki's on the throne, and I'm assuming that Thor is unworthy. And he took out that pesky Bifrost thing, because if you ain't gotta deal with Asgardians, why would you? He also finagled that the Fantastic Four will miss their launch time by 1 hour, so they will also miss the Cosmic Storm, which made the Fantastic Four a little more manageable. And we also see that it is not Stark Industries, but it is Stain Stark Industries. And that's not Tony. That's Howard Stark. That's pretty much partners with Obadiah Stane. And if you notice, you see the Avengers A there? Yeah, they kind of snuck that in there. He either didn't stop or couldn't stop Bruce Banner from becoming the Hulk. And he went to the ice to go find Captain America. As you can see from the guns, he was looking to kill him, but he wasn't there. So he might seem like a god, but he can't control everything. But when you turn the next page, he might not control everything, but he's controlling a lot. Jim Hammond, that is the original Human Torch, deceased. Steve Rogers, can't find. James Buchanan Barnes, Bucky, deceased. Robert Grayson, that is Marvel Boy, inactive. Jack Moreau, that is Nomad, inactive. You guys are probably saying, how do you know this? I looked it up, so you don't have to. Thor Odinson, he's captive. We saw what happened with him. Howard Stark, controlled. We saw what happened with him. This universe, Reed Richards, controlled. Susan Storm, deceased. Johnny Storm, deceased. Ben Grimm, deceased. Bruce Banner, controlled. Peter Parker, inactive. We saw what happened with him. Janet Van Dyne, inactive. And Stephen Strange, captive. So then we go to Manhattan and we see Iron Man. But no, that is not Tony Stark. Tony Stark is in the control room with Obadiah Stane. That is Howard Stark. And pretty much Howard is acting just like Tony of the 616, waving at the pretty girls, getting sassy with his assistant, drinking at 10 a.m. It's about the same. Obadiah is pretty much telling him how he needs to get out of the lab and be more of like the face of the company. And Howard reminds Obadiah that, hey, with me being in the lab, nobody no longer dies from heart disease and 12 different types of cancer, which I don't know offhand how many types of cancers there are, but knocking out 12, that's definitely saying something. So of course, Obadiah agrees, nobody's questioning his gifts, but he needs to be more of the forwarding face of the company. And they need to go to some kind of get together that's going down in Latveria. So Howard agrees, and then Obadiah pretty much says, it's time for you to meet your maker. In more ways than one. So going to this place is like a red carpet event, and these dudes are treated like rock stars or billionaire tech people. Like if Jeff Bezos actually got along with Elon Musk, something like that, as they're introduced by the news reporters. The Immortal Hulk is a Shaolin monk. We also have the Harada clan here, which if you're not familiar with the last name Harada, that's the Silver Samurai. Last but not least, we have the Rasputin family. We have Magic, we have Colossus, and we have Omega Red. We don't have no Mikhail Rasputin. I guess the maker's like, why should I make that problem? Speaking of which, he decides to come out the dome. So he walks out, looks up, and goes, well, I'm waiting. And all of a sudden, this hole opens up in the sky, and all of these heroes are coming down. Multiple Captain Americas, multiple Thors, multiple Giant Men, multiple Wasps, multiple Visions. And one of the Thors goes, just a maker, and the other acceptable targets. no one else. So all hell's breaking loose, and Howard's like, Obadiah, what the hell is going on? And Obadiah's like, I don't know, but aren't you wearing your portable suit? And Howard's like, you told me not to come armored. And Obadiah's like, when exactly did you start listening to me? Howard's like, fair point. I'll never make that mistake again. So Obadiah hits a button on his watch and he goes, that's a good idea. As a general rule, you should never listen to someone who doesn't follow their own advice. And we see this suit coming at him and it starts forming around him and it looks just like the War Machine suit. So on the next page, we see everybody that got invited there is pretty much fighting all of these Avengers. And then we see Vision phase his hand right through Obadiah's suit. He went right through the arc reactor, which pretty much made it unstable. Obadiah knows it's unstable and he knows it's about to blow up. So it blows up, he gets thrown, and before he passes out, all you see is these dudes pretty much are handling their business against the Avengers. I mean, there's a hell of a lot more Avengers than there is of them, but you know, they're doing their thing. And then everything goes black. And in this blackness, you see the word Howard. Howard, can you wake up now? And we see it's the Maker. So the Maker pretty much tells him that Obadiah is dead, which pretty sure he saw that. The Maker goes, I wish we had time to grieve, but time is something we have very little of at the moment. And he tells him to take a look. And we see all the Avengers have been captured. So obviously Stark wants to know who they are. And you know, the Maker's going to dance around the subject. He's like, they're from the future, temporal suicide bombers, here to erase me and possibly you from history. Then the Maker's like, doesn't it make you angry? And Howard's pretty much like, no, I just want to know what's going on. So all of a sudden they start bringing in all these people, and they're normal looking people. And the way that John the Hitch explained it, that the man's too smart. So I'm gonna try to break it down in layman's terms. Pretty much all those people are direct descendants of the Avengers that are in that cell. And if you take those people out, then those people that are in the cell will never be created. And that's pretty much what the Maker's doing. He shoots the people, and then when you turn the next page, all the Avengers just start melting and pretty much turn into gook. Why? Because they're never born. Now, what I want to know is, who in the hell created Thor? Because I thought Thor was Asgardian. So how is somebody related to Thor down there unless they are Asgardian? And I started to wonder the same thing about the Vision, but I'm thinking to myself, if the Vision was created by Hank Pym, you take out Hank Pym, then you take out the Vision. So I answered my own question on that one. So Howard's like pissed. He was like, you idiot, you know they're going to do the same thing to you, right? And the Maker's like, they can't, because unfortunately I wasn't born here. I wasn't born on this earth. I wasn't born in this universe. When this universe was created, I was just here. So no, they can't do that. So then the Maker's like, come with me, I want to show you something. So then he shows him a Morris engine, and Howard Stark's like, this is a time machine. This is why they came here. You have to destroy it. And then the Maker just pretty much starts spilling the beans, and he's like, do you think this perfectly ordered society is how it's supposed to go? He goes, no, things are the way they are because I made it the way they are. He goes, I use this machine to erase threats before they even emerge, like Spider-Man. And he goes, I repurpose existing pieces like you for a grander design. And to Howard's credit, he fully understands what's going on. He goes, this is unconscionable, unbelievable. You have to understand the full scope of what you've done. He goes, you annihilated their future. You destroyed their past. This won't be the end of it. This was just the first encounter. And then the Maker goes, no. It was the second encounter. The first was 2 weeks ago. And then he takes off his helmet. He doesn't have to worry about that scar on his right eye anymore because he doesn't have a right eye or a right hemisphere of his brain. And Howard's pretty much thinking the same thing I was thinking. How are you not dead? And then the Maker says, because I'm not like you. For self-preservation's sake, I chose to separate and redistribute my brain and vital organs a long time ago. So where in the hell are they located at? That's all I want to know. So even though he did all that, he still suffered damage. Right now his memory is impaired and fractured. He's remembering things incorrectly, so he can't trust his memory. And that's why he needs Howard Stark, he says, more than anybody else in the world, because he believed that Howard is the one who built this machine.